first of all, yes, absolutely, diet and lifestyle. That's like those are the pillars of change, and you have to have those foundations. And like I said, mindset and things like that are equally as important. But going into diet and lifestyle, I think there's so much noise going on, like you said, with other medical practitioners. And now you have a lot of coaches and people on Instagram and social media sharing advice. And people come to me and they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm so overwhelmed. Do I do keto? Do I do carnivore? Like, what's actually going to help? And I think I always say, like, you have to listen to your body, but also like learn what that means for you. And that takes time. So yes, you might have to do an elimination diet for a couple months and slowly add back food groups. So things like gluten and dairy can be really inflammatory. For me, eggs, super inflammatory. For some people, can activate your immune system a lot. So it doesn't mean you have to get rid of those things long term. But where I typically recommend starting is doing a short elimination diet for yourself, 30 days, cut out gluten, dairy, eggs. Make sure you look at hidden sources of gluten as well, like things like dressings, soy sauce, and then, of course, alcohol. The hardest one for people, honestly, is, I think, caffeine. And if you're constantly spiking your cortisol with caffeine and you're having trouble sleeping, you're having energy crashes, cortisol makes it into your gut. And you can actually, if you have a weakened gut barrier, you can cause cortisol spikes like hours later from the same stressor. So it's really important to try to remove those stressors as much as possible. Obviously, we can't live in a world with no stress, but things like caffeine, that is an external stressor that we can remove, even if it's for a period of time while we work on those underlying root causes. So I would say start there, incorporating foods like bone broth to heal and seal the gut lining. And anytime you're healing the gut, you're healing the hormones. I always say hormones are not root cause. The gut is one of the biggest metabolizers. So things like estrogen make its way from the gut into the liver, and it has this circulation system. So the estrogen can be recirculated and turn toxic. And so if you have a weak gut barrier, then more toxins can build up in the liver, and that causes more congestion. So that's where I see a lot of estrogen dominance happening.